I'm Robin Mellum, children's book author with Disney Hyperion and HarperCollins. I'm also a middle school teacher. I teach writing, and I teach a writer's workshop that's student-led. And every year, I have to figure out what to do with my workshop right around this time of the year. It's December. Can you tell? I have my mug of tea and my fake fireplace. The students are kind of like way too festive, or I wouldn't say way too, I would say, because it's understandable, right? Like we're even festive that week leading up to when we leave for winter break, and they're all just thinking about hot cocoa and mittens and whatever, and gifts and video games and all the time they're going to have to play it, and they kind of check out. And so how do we take that week leading up to it and still get really good academic writing out of them, if that's even possible? But also, what I like to do is just honor the fact that their minds are kind of mentally checked out. That's kind of half the battle, oftentimes with middle schoolers, is just admitting where we are, the present moment. So I wanted to share with you what I do with my students that week leading up to winter break. I have them do some academic writing in a way, because they write persuasive arguments, but they're winter themed. They're like winter related. So since not everybody celebrates Christmas and everything, you have to be careful around that. So the things that I create are more so to do with like weather and the Winter Olympics and all the things associated with that. So I took this concept, you've probably heard of this, it's called Change My Mind. It's kind of like a meme on the internet or whatever. I'm sounding old by saying that, but where you say a statement and then you say, change my mind. And the statement is kind of, something you could argue, and usually it's something kind of goofy. And in my case, when we do winter related writing, I do these really goofy change my mind statements. And then they love it because they can argue for one side and some of them argue for both. And I'll show you on my screen what they look like. And then you can have them stand and go to either side of the room. Which one did you say for? Which one were you against? Can you share your arguments? And then here's the kicker. When they hear each side's arguments for it, and they're like as goofy as, peppermint candy is totally overrated, or candy canes are totally overrated. And they talk about, candy canes back and forth. And they listen to the other side, and then when they come back to their desk, they have to write down the best points that the other side said, that they were like, oh, that was a good argument. Like I could agree with that. So that they're listening and they're just seeing how arguments work back and forth. And it's just a way to get the vocabulary in there as well, with claims and evidence and all of that. So it's a super fun way to get them engaged during that week when things are way too festive. And then I do want to share with you one activity that I do with my kids, because I've created this line called Icebreakers for Introverts, because we have some kids that we want to honor who they are. They aren't really comfortable with all this big, loud stuff going on. So this particular activity, it's a this or that activity, and they draw based on what their answer was to the question. And then they take their drawing. I'm going to show you. Then they take their drawing and they walk around the room. Here's an example. And they share how different their drawings look based on their answers, like so they could connect. But the fun thing is that they have to choose some of the things that are in the background or on the side. So like this is a lava lamp, and this is the neighbor's cat peeking in, and then they had to pick, certain words that start with S or something to include in the picture. My son did this, and he was like, I had so much fun doing this. And he's 20 years old. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, and hopefully help you out with that week before winter break to get them engaged and writing like they should. And now we have a commercial. Well, that's fun. Hi, let's go to my screen and just roll with it. So here's what these look like. They're change my mind statements, and they can either choose to argue no or yes. And here are some that I'll kind of go through these. This one's the Winter Olympics should include a snowball fighting competition, which turns into really interesting conversation, and they come up with really unusual arguments for and against. I love this one. or they could talk about having hot cocoa at lunch, candy canes are overrated. But here's the great part as far as getting quality writing in. They can do 5 of these through the week, but at the end, they get to go back through all of their writing and choose one that they think is their strongest argument and write it as if they're writing to the editor at the newspaper to try and change everybody's mind about this. So then they can turn in their one, winter related argument essay, short essay. All right, I'm going to show you the other activity that we do. And here is the icebreaker for introverts that we do. The directions here is they have to pick a side, which side is most festive. And then based on their answer, they get to add to a drawing. It's just a drawing of a basic snowman. So some strange things happen in here. It just depends on what color their hats are and so on. They might be sitting on green grass. They might be sitting on a pile of rocks. Just some like different kinds of winter related things in here that they can do. And then their drawing gets stranger and stranger. Different things. You could either have a gift bag hanging from your arm, or maybe there's a grocery bag hanging from your arm. Super fun. So hopefully these are some ways to get your students involved in that very festive time in the year, but to keep them on task while having fun. I hope you all have a great holiday, and thanks for following along here. I will see you in the next video.